the first thing people should do is they should think back to World War II. It's not the only case. I can give you many examples. It's the recent case. It's the one that people are most familiar with, and it's a very dramatic case. What we saw in World War II is that the people who were hell-bent on murdering the Jewish people in Europe were very bad for all of us. This is the thing that people really need to understand. The Nazis were very bad for all of us. I'm not Jewish. People ask me, well, why are you expending so much energy defending the Jews? You're not even Jewish. And I'm like, dude, I'm not. This is not an act of charity. I'm defending myself. This is self-defense. This is Western self-defense. Anti-Semitism is a danger to the West. We saw it in World War II. So the anti-Semites, the people that wanted to kill all of the Jews, what did they do? They plunged us into a world war. The entire planet was sucked into their war. The anti-Semites are very bad for us. Very, very bad for us. All of us, whether Jewish or not. So between 5 and 6 million Jews were murdered in Europe in Shoah, in the Holocaust. But it's also important to remember that more than 64 million non-Jews were also killed in that war. And hundreds of millions of non-Jews were enslaved, lost all of their rights and liberties, right? Who did that to them? The anti-Semites. My God, how is it possible that people can't learn this lesson? The anti-Semites are a danger to all of us because anti-Semitism is the tool of totalitarian expansion. That's what anti-Semitism is, and it has been that for a very long time. If you go back in time to the late 19th century, early 20th century, who was killing lots of Jews? The Russian Empire. What was the Russian Empire? It was an autocratic, quasi-totalitarian nightmare. That's what the Russian Empire was. You go further back, who's killing the Jews? The Inquisition. Who's running the Inquisition? Anti-Semites. They're organizing mass killings, forced conversions, expulsions of Jews, and they're also oppressing everybody else. All of the Christians were oppressed by Inquisition, the Catholics and the Protestants, and before that, the Proto-Protestants. Everybody was oppressed. Anti-Semites are a danger to everyone. The modern West was created by a rebellion against the anti-Semitic ruling elites of the Western world. That's how the modern world was created. Now, you go even further back to the Roman Empire, and you find the Roman Empire committing genocide against the ancient Jews, and the Roman Empire was also enslaving everybody. You see, so this is a pattern. Roman Empire was totalitarian, perfectly consistent. And now we have the forces of radical Islam calling for another genocide of the Jews. And what do they want for us? They also want to oppress us. All of us non-Jews, they consider us infidels. They'll start with the Jews, just like the Nazis started with the Jews, but that's not where it's going to stop. They're coming for us. We need to wake up to what's been happening in the West. The ruling elites of the West, the power elites of the West, have been importing the most radical Muslims into Europe and into the US. It's not exactly a secret. Have been preaching jihad against the European infidels. Our power elites have been doing the exact opposite of what we should be doing. We should be the refuge for the people who want to escape. This is something that Ayaan Hirsi Ali, who's been doing a tremendously good job of speaking to Westerners about Islam, that's what she's been trying to communicate, because she took refuge in the West. But the West has gotten so bad that Ayaan Hirsi Ali had to escape the Netherlands to the United States because radical Islamists were hunting her down in the Netherlands because so many radical Muslims have entered Europe and begun to transform Europe. I think that's the realization people need to have. They need to realize that anti-Semites, whether in Nazi form, whether in radical Muslim form, whatever form they take, the anti-Semites are bad for you. How can we not have learned this after World War II? It's just incredible.